Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Tuesday, the 19th of November, 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 closed up nearly 1% today to 8,374 points, having earlier in the day hit an all-time high of 8,446 points. The tech stocks led the way, following a strong lead-in from Wall Street. The tech index ended up more than 3%. The big banks also did well, with the Commonwealth Bank up nearly 2%. In corporate news, Technology One surged more than 10% after the enterprise software company said net profit for the year ending 30 September was up 15%. Newmont, which bought local gold producer Newcrest, surged after it agreed to sell a mine in Canada. KMD Brands, that's the one that owns Kathmandu and Ripcord, it said it's cautious on consumer sentiment amid challenging conditions. It was down 2%. And among the large caps, a jump in oil prices pushed Woodside and Santos higher. The higher oil price came on the back of geopolitical tensions. Story number 2, the AFR has released its list of the top 100 accounting firms in the country. And while the big 4 have struggled, the next level of firms are benefiting. Turmoil for the sector over the past 12 months, especially PwC, where a senior tax partner had leaked government information that helped clients avoid tax, hit that firm. Its revenue fell 25%. It's fallen from number 1 spot to number 3. Top spot went to Deloitte, then EY, PwC and KPMG. The next 5 top accountants in terms of revenue, they might not be household names, but they're doing very well. BDO, Findex, RSM Australia, Grant Thornton and Pitcher Partners. Story number 3, oil giant Santos will boost returns to shareholders once its major projects in Alaska and the Timor Sea come online. In 2026, 60% of free cash flow should go to shareholders in terms of dividends or share buybacks, compared to 40% now. There are pressure from institutional investors on the oil and gas company. They're not happy with returns. There's been ongoing speculation about corporate manoeuvring. Last year, it explored a merger with Woodside, which didn't get off the ground. There's also been speculation of other global players buying Santos. Now, it's got 2 big projects, the Barossa gas project in Timor Sea, that's due to come online in the September quarter next year. Then the Paco oil project in Alaska, that's supposed to come online in the first half of 2026. Hence, the company has now come out and said it's going to pay out 60% of free cash flow to try and keep shareholders happy. Its share price was up today, but a couple of weeks ago, it was at its lowest point since early 2022. Story number 4, Hong Kong's High Court today sentenced 45 pro-democracy activists, including Australian Gordon Ung, to jail terms of up to 10 years in a landmark national security trial. The decision further damages the city's once strong democracy movement and has drawn international condemnation, according to Bloomberg. A total of 47 pro-democracy activists were arrested and charged in 2021 with conspiracy to commit subversion under a Beijing-imposed national security law. They'd faced sentences of up to life in prison. The sentences in the end ranged from 4 years to 10 years. Mr. Ung was jailed for 7 years and 3 months. The so-called organiser of the 47 pro-democracy activists received 10 years. The charges relate to the organising of an unofficial primary election in 2020 to select the best candidates for an upcoming legislative election. The activists were accused by prosecutors of plotting to paralyse the government by engaging in potentially disruptive acts had they been elected. Finally, story number 5, G20 nations have called for taxation on the super rich, measures to alleviate property and a ceasefire in Gaza. After 2 days of meeting in Rio de Janeiro, the group came out with a somewhat watered-down statement. Now, the host, Brazil, has been pushing a 2% tax on the world's billionaires to generate more than $300 billion to help alleviate property and climate change. Argentina quickly withdrew support on that one. That denied a consensus on it, but the statement did call for climate finance to increase from billions of dollars to trillions of dollars. That's it for the afternoon report for Tuesday, the 19th of November, 2024. Adam Lang and I will be back tomorrow morning with the Wednesday edition of Fear and Greed Business News. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.